Hello everybody, I am here with Lauren at the ROEST HQ in Oslo, Norway.
Welcome to the office. Can't wait to show you around.
Let's go.
This is our roasting room. So we set this up just like 6 months ago or so once we started getting P3000, and we actually have quite a few people coming in and like roasting on a regular basis. So we had Hakone and Hebe both here in Oslo, so they like come and set times and they can come and roast for a few hours.
I had Hakone this morning for my first coffee of the day because I needed coffee and it was right next to the train station.
Nice. This is a mess, but this is our lab. So this is where they're like testing P3000. Most recently, they were installing a beer keg inside of the P3000 that was at Geneva. So that was like a fun little thing that they were working on. Yeah. But we also have a little sneak peek of our automated feeder here for the P3000, which is exciting. We saw this in action for the first time last week.
Sneak peek.
Which is cool. And this kind of box here is a prototype of the afterburner. So there's some things going on for P3000, which is pretty exciting.
Cool. These are things that the people can know about?
Yes, they can know about it.
Afterburner coming soon. Automatic loader.
Yep.
Coming soon. So.
Yeah, and then let's go down to production.
Yeah.
Because that is very fun. I mean, this side of things isn't so exciting. Storage.
Storage. We all have storage.
Yeah. We have production on site, which is very, very cool.
Are these the versions?
Yeah, these are the originals.
Whoa.
Yeah, some of the very first prototypes.
Cool, they all look so different.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like this looks like very Nordic architecture.
Yeah, totally. And you can see the like wood was very important from an early stage.
Right.
Having this kind of like fun Scandinavian like wood vibe.
Yeah. Hello, nice to meet you.
CTO. And Marco, our head of production.
Nice to meet you.
And this is our
shop dog.
Yeah.
Hi.
Lots of sample roasters here, kind of getting ready for finishing them, I would say. And then, yeah, we have usually 3 guys back here.
Hello.
Working on actually building it.
Is it kind of like assembly line style where you do like a bunch with like one part?
Not really, actually. They usually make them like all the way through and kind of finished, and then without the sides, because then they're kind of made to order with like you choosing which color you want. Yeah. But right now it's a little bit weird, like waiting on a part that we're hoping to get soon to finish these. Because we're all kind of getting them ready for the new Ultras. So there's some newer parts that we've added because of the Ultra. And then we have kind of the P3000 production as well, but it's still not like mass production yet. We're definitely kind of still working on some final things.
Kind of one by one, bit by bit. And the biggest difference between the new and the old things are size, but also you have like tech innovations.
That's a Sverre question.
Yeah, I mean the biggest difference is obviously the size change, but made changes to how we roast. That we've changed a little bit from the sample roaster, but what we have learned on P3000 we have now reintroduced into the Ultra on the sample roaster in order to increase efficiency and change the heat transfer a little bit. But obviously we have a lot more sensors on this big one. And since also this one is designed for more coffee, and it's just a 3 kilo roaster, but we're developing the feeder so you can do 100 kilo just fully automatic with no interaction, and then you can do like half a ton on this machine easily per week. So it's a small machine, but it has a big appetite, so it's important that we focus a lot on the service and clean, but basically have easy access for cleaning and maintenance. So those have been a very crucial part of the design on this machine. So we have, for instance, removed there's no exhaust fan on it, for instance. So basically there's no big fan you need to take off and clean.
Nice.
The fan is at the back of the machine where we have when they're only passing clean filter room temperature air. So you never need to actually clean those fans. And that also gives you access to the cyclone from the top of the machine. So this is pretty much the cyclone that you see here. There's just a ventilation hose you take off, and then you have a tool you can put inside, and then you clean the inside of the cyclone. And same here, you have the only ventilation sort of pipe or shaft inside this machine is just from the roasting chamber into the cyclone, which is a fairly small part. And there you have access to cleaning from a maintenance hatch on the front panel here. So you can basically just open the door, and then there's the hatch, and then you have access, so you can clean the inside of the cyclone and the ventilation shaft on its way to the cyclone. And then the actual roasting chamber, you can also take apart the machine and actually clean the inside of the roasting chamber. Like, that's probably a bit more for like specially interested people that wants to clean the inside of the roasting chamber. But
roaster cleaning is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of roaster cleaning and easy roaster cleaning and frequent roaster cleaning.
Yeah. So I mean, this is something we focused a lot on, like I said. So on this machine, you can actually quite easily take out the entire paddle system, and then you can clean out the inside of the roasting chamber.
Wow.
But one of the benefits, I would say, with the system that we have, where the drum itself is sort of not oversized as a typical drum would be. So the roasting chamber is actually very small compared to the size of the coffee. But that means that the coffee is basically taking up more of the volume inside. And since we are forcing the air through the bean mass, that both increases the efficiency of the heat transfer, but that means that you can reduce the temperature you're roasting on, because more of the energy actually gets absorbed by the coffee beans. You also have the benefit of the exhaust temperature going down, so it's not so hot.
So does the hot air enter from like the bottom of the...
If you look inside here, you can actually see where the hot air is entering through these small openings.
Okay, and so like through that screen?
And then these paddles are moving this way quite fast. You can change it. And then they're kind of like falling in this constant wave motion. And then we take off the coffee. We actually open the roasting chamber itself. We reverse the direction, and then the coffee comes out in just a few seconds. And since this is so fast, it means that all the coffee stops roasting at the same time. If you have a very large roaster, it might take up to 30 seconds before you start emptying the roasting chamber until all the coffee has actually come through.
Yeah.
All the things you see here are quite easy to remove. And they're very easy to put back together again.
That's the crucial bit.
So you only have, for instance, on this part, you only remove one of the alignment issue or alignment parts, so that once you put it back, you have already the alignment in place. There's just a pin you put in through the center of the hub. But that means that you can basically remove the entire inside, and you can polish the inside of the roasting chamber, and you make it as clean as what it was when you bought it. But what I was about to say was that since the roasting chamber isn't moving, and the coffee beans are constantly sort of moving against or scraping on polishing the metal surface, what we see is that even after roasting hundreds and hundreds of roasts, the inside of the machine actually looks very nice, because the coffee is constantly cleaning it. So it's only in those areas where the coffee is not in constant contact that you need to clean it. And that the most important then is just the exhaust, where you have a build-up from all the dust, etc. And then obviously we have focused a lot on just having easy access to service parts on the bottom side here as well. So you can just very easily open this part, and then there is two big shaft filters that goes in place inside here. Then you have access for cleaning on the inside on the bean cooler as well. And the bean cooler is very efficient, so it cools down your coffee very fast. And there's also, you can also install an optional sensor here if you want to monitor the temperature in the bean cooler while you're cooling it down. But other than that, we have sort of focused a lot on making sure that roaster itself is actually quite simple in its design. It's quite symmetrical, and then we just added like a lot of sensor on it in order to make sure that it's super consistent. So we're doing quite a lot of averaging out of different sensors to get one reading. So the bean temperature sensors, for instance, here is 4 sensors that we're averaging out. And there's 2 reasons why that's important. One is that it increases the consistency between batches, but it also makes the machines much more consistent between machines. So if you start with one machine and then you see, okay, I want to increase and roast up to maybe a ton per week, and you have the feeder and everything, you can just purchase a second machine. You can still feed it with the same profile, same coffee, and you will get the same results.
Oh, yeah, that's an issue that I've seen in a lot of other machines where they say you can take one profile and translate it to another, but yeah, if you only have one probe,
I mean,
the placement's different.
Even if you buy like the best probes in the range that we are operating, which is like close to 200 degrees, you are plus minus a few degrees.
Yeah, sure.
In practice, even though the sensor itself can be a little bit shorter, but between machines, you're normally a few degrees, so that window narrows down dramatically once you're averaging out 4 different types of sensors for the same reading. And we do the same for the drum sensor as well. So we have actually 3 sensors on the drum measuring how much heat we have built up in the system. We're averaging out, and then we have 2 different types of sensors as well. So one is a bit faster to respond, but that one can drift a little bit over time. So then we have implemented a second or third sensor that is more stable, a bit slower, but then we can recalibrate it to other sensors every year. So we get the same result year in, year out. And then we have which is a pretty new feature, which is actually the camera. So here you have a housing with a camera, fan for keeping it without dust, and custom LED lights so that we are illuminating the coffee. And that makes quite a nice feature, is that you're actually being able to see the coffee beans. And the nice thing is that if you just have a normal window and you're looking at it, the coffee is obviously moving so fast that you aren't getting a real good image of what is actually going on if you just look at it. But since we have a camera there, we can update that image. So you have an image 1 per second or 1 per 3 seconds, for instance. And you actually have time to look at individual coffee beans because they're frozen in time when you're taking a photo of it, which is very helpful actually.
So it's like a photo camera, not a video camera.
It's a video camera, so you can use it for streaming videos of it as well. But if you're doing the videos, you aren't really getting the value from having the camera.
Yeah.
So we are.
I feel like somebody needs to set it up to make a streaming channel that is just like roasting. I could see roasters doing that.
But it's one fun thing is that when you have all of these sensors, we have a first crack, we have all the temperature sensors, humidity, we're actually measuring the amount of air moving through the system, like the volume. So when we have all this data, what we can do is actually have online roasting classes for those that don't know too much about roasting, and then you could actually ship out the same coffee to them. They can roast the same profile, and you can be cupping in very different areas, but you still have the same roast, same coffee.
Yeah.
So that's quite an interesting approach to online
learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how you said I know that it has the automatic first crack detection. Is it still in this one? Microphone, or how are you doing?
So that's a microphone inside this housing here. So it's an overpressurized system, so we make sure that we have higher pressure of cold air than heated air on the other side. So that was a little bit of a challenge to figure out how to do, because the sensor itself can't handle the temperature if you just expose it directly to the roasted temperatures. Sure. And then with the camera, where the idea is to do like color tracking with the camera, and then in time we'll see if we will be able to determine the size of the coffee beans. It's something we really want to do it, but it's super challenging because of
Right, they're not spherical.
yeah. I mean, ideally you would have 2 cameras facing on it, so you have easier to see the border, because the biggest challenge is actually having a software that can understand what is the actual start and stop of the coffee bean.
Yeah.
But that would be super fun if we can, like, your customer puts in their information about what coffee it is, and then the machine is like, it's not the correct size. This is actually an AA. So that would be quite fun if the machine could do that.
Yeah.
And then hopefully in time we can also see if there's like do something with Quakers and see if we can distinguish them and give a percentage of how many defects we can find.
Yeah.
So there's lots of fun things we can do, but right now we've basically just been focusing on the hardware side of things, because that's the parts that it's not so easy to change for the customer, and then the software side we can take as we go on most of these things.
Because you can do like updates of new software at all times.
Yeah, and that's the machine itself is usually connected to Wi-Fi. There's Ethernet connection as well. And then we're working on an offline version of the online portal, because not everybody has the option of going for the Wi-Fi system. And then if you just have basically a clone of what we're doing on our web portal on your desktop, you can still have access to everything. And then once you have connected that laptop, for instance, to Wi-Fi, then it will upload with the cloud, so it keeps track of your stuff. So that's kind of the plan.
Cool.
One more thing, down here is our quality lab, which is quite cool. But this is where we do our quality control. So every single machine goes through a full, like, I don't even know how long of a checklist of testing before it goes out.
That's awesome.
It's not so exciting because there's no machines in here.
But I mean, the side panels are here,
Yeah.
and they weren't out there, so.
True.
Super cool.
Okay. It is.
So does that mean that there's somebody whose job it is to just clean a bunch of machines after they've been tested?
Yeah, Batse does all of our quality control. So she does all the testing and then cleaning them back up, getting them ready to go out as well.